I think it was meant to be hidden, where people had to find it. And they found it all right. Hey, this is Josh Wink, and this is a story of higher states of consciousness. I released a whole bunch of music before I ended up releasing Higher States of Consciousness. As a DJ, I grew up and I was inspired by other artists and other labels. I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I just want to have other people be inspired by me and my ideas and my values and my beliefs and my creativity. And that's how music production came about in me. My first record was made in 1989, but put out in 1990 on Strictly Rhythm. I was traveling the world, and my records were my ticket to do that. The snowball kept on rolling for me, and it was getting bigger and having more momentum. I loved, as a DJ, all kinds of music. I loved, as a non-DJ, all kinds of music. I was raised on everything, from rock to soul to ambient to funk to reggae to calypso to ride to juju to hip hop to classical to jazz. I was just a sponge, just taking this all in. My mother was into self-awareness, vegetarianism, yoga, movement, self-consciousness. She was a disciple to a guru in America. When she kind of got enlightened or spiritually moved, it then affected me because I was 12, 13 years old. So this sense of awareness and mindfulness came into my existence when I was a young guy. Higher States of Consciousness, the original one, was on a compilation that Strictly Rhythm did called The Deep and Slow. And they wanted me to be involved in the label after the first release of E-Culture back in 1990. So they said, do you have any more music? And I said, you know what, I have an idea, but I would like to release a remix off of the original from The Deep and Slow on the label as a single. It was a hidden kind of gem. Higher States of Consciousness, the Tweak It Acid Funk mix, was the B-side, hidden kind of thing. And I think it was meant to be hidden, where people had to find it. And they found it all right. The influences in who I am and who I was influenced by really kind of shows itself in this record. There's a breakbeat in it, there's a sense of drum and bass and jungle with time stretching and different drum patterns. And then there's the acid house. I remember sending them the Tweak It Acid Funk mix. And they said, we can't put this out. It was too harsh sonically. They said, go back in the studio and redo this. Our mastering guy and our pressing plant said, this won't cut to the lacquer on the mother for pressing vinyl. And you're gonna have to go back and do it. And I said, if you don't take it like this, then I'm not gonna release it. I don't know if I could even recreate it. My studio is my bedroom. That's why I've never done a remake or a remix of it, because I don't think I could do the original justice. I think it just happened. A divine intervention of some sorts. The record was completed in 1994 and released in 1995. I had two 303s. I bought them for $75 a piece at a pawn shop in Philadelphia. My life changed when I got one, and my life changed even more when I had two. I was very influenced by the German acid house sound that was coming out too. But I took the faceplate off and I went into the machine and I lubed it up, and I was cleaning it. And after I did that, there was a lot more movement in the knobs, and the way I tweaked the resonance in the filter and the accent on it really kind of made it what it was. And unconventional mixing made it stand out. I created it with two 303s, a 909. I used I think a DoD heavy rock distortion pedal, and that's what gave the 303 its character on the main line of the 303. I was using a computer to sequence the track. I think I was using a program called Master Tracks back in 1994. A lot of the coolness of programming a 303 is like the mistake of what comes out. The batteries ran out on the 303, and you can't save your patterns unless you have batteries in it. So I lost the 303 pattern. There were remixes done of the track that I didn't do. In the 90s when that came out, and the remixes came out a couple years afterwards, people would come out expecting me to play the remixes that were out, but that wasn't the authentic, true sound of me. In the UK, a couple of the versions were climbing up the charts more so than the original. I look back on it with a light hand and a soft heart, but it wasn't me. And that was kind of hard to deal with and understand. Coolest thing about the record is that it really meant a lot to people at that time. It's made and started a movement and brought electronic music or breakbeat or acid house into the mainstream. I remember Norman Cook said to me, "Thank you for making this record because it made things a lot easier for me to break through as well too." I get people coming up to me at gigs, at events, online sometimes. They say, my wife and I met at a party in 1996 in the UK, and the DJ played Higher States of Consciousness, and it kicked in for them, and they fell in love with their partner. The kids that are coming out now that I'm playing for, their parents were the ones that were going out and dancing to it. And that's so amazing. That's so wild. I was able to do something in my bedroom and give to the world, and people got inspired and influenced by my creativity. It's the best feeling.